The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments today in a case that could push Planned Parenthood out of South Carolina's federally funded Medicaid program. As Natalie Brand reports, the key question in the case is whether recipients have the right to seek care from the qualified provider of their choosing.
Supporters of Planned Parenthood and opponents of the organization held dueling rallies outside of the U.S. Supreme Court Wednesday as justices considered whether South Carolina can kick Planned Parenthood out of its federally funded Medicaid program.
The state has to ensure that individuals have a right to choose their doctor. That's what this provision is.
Federal law already prohibits Medicaid from paying for abortions except in cases of rape or incest or to save the life of the mother. But since Planned Parenthood provides abortion services outside of Medicaid as allowed by state law, South Carolina wants to keep taxpayer funds away from the group.
South Carolina stands for the right to life.
Arguing on behalf of the state, John Birch of the advocacy group Alliance Defending Freedom.
States must have the authority to steward limited Medicaid resources towards providers that align with their values and serve their citizens' true health care needs, not a multi-billion-dollar entity advancing an activist agenda.
At issue in this case, whether Medicaid beneficiaries have the right to choose their own qualified doctor.
The difficulty arises because of trying to draw the distinction between benefits and rights.
Planned Parenthood says many low-income patients rely on its clinics for their health care needs, including screenings for cancer and other conditions, and says if South Carolina is allowed to remove it as a qualified provider, that will have wide-ranging impacts.
This case is critical because it would allow states across the country to also enact their political agenda and deny people their dignity to access the provider of their choice.
A decision by the High Court is expected by the end of June. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.